We're going to be talking about 2019, reflecting on what has been happening in this very, very interesting year. So on the roundtable, to join me on the sidelines of this roadblock is the MMC for the newly elected MMC for safety, MMC Mukwena, as well as Navari, who's our, if you like, a citizen-in-chief here on C405. So he decided to come and join us here at this round table. But we'll also be talking to Wayne Minar, just to round off the theme of the conversation. But we'll also be talking to them also generally about what they thought of this particular year, 2019, as it's our last round table of the year. So do stay tuned as we carry on with that conversation with the citizens. All right. Good evening.
Good evening,
and
Mr.
welcome
Tabang.
to the round table.
Thank you very much.
MMC, congratulations for your appointment. The mayor just had some fantastic things to say about you and saying that this is not new for you and so on. So I look forward to hearing your views about what's been going on in this country in 2019, but also to tell us what your vision is going to be. So thank you so much for joining us around the table. Navari, thank you so much. Always willing to talk to us. Thank you for coming out here to see what we're doing here in the dead of night with the JMPD. So thank you for coming.
Welcome.
Mr. Minar, once again, thank you for always being available to talk to us, and thank you for joining tonight's discussions.
Yeah, well, that's great. I'm glad to be here.
No, wonderful. MNC, let me start with you. What did you think of 2019? You have been on the council. It's not like you are new as such. You're just new in your position. But what are some of the highlights for you of 2019 in this city?
2019, the highlights is when we made Mashaba leave the city. We made him leave the city.
No, what did you didn't make him leave? He resigned because of Helen Zille.
Yeah, no, it's not because only of Helen Zille.
Seriously? Do you think it was an excuse?
Pressure from us as well.
It was pressure from you?
Yeah, he ran away. He knows what
Why
he
do you
has
think
done
he
in
ran
the
away?
city. There are things that he has done, and those things will come to the fore.
Seriously?
So,
MMC, you are making a very serious allegation.
I'm not going to mention those things because, yes, it is an allegation. But
you're making very serious allegations.
They'll be known when they come to the fore.
Come on, give us a hint.
No, I am not going to give you a hint. But the highlight was when Jeff Makubu became the mayor of this.
Yeah, I see you guys were very, very happy.
Yes.
Was it so uncomfortable in the opposition benches, MMC?
It wasn't uncomfortable. We were actually working very hard.
Yeah.
But we were praying that Mayor Makubu becomes mayor, because he was a mayor in waiting.
He was a mayor in waiting all this time?
All this time.
But in fact, he was not nominated to be mayor 3 years ago. You still nominated Pakstow, am I right?
Yes, we nominated Pakstow.
And Pakstow left. He couldn't stand the opposition benches.
No.
He went to be a deputy minister.
No, he was appointed by the president to be deputy minister. He stood. He was very steadfast. He was in that council, and he worked very hard.
All right, so besides those highlights, what else? What else do you think was important for the citizens of Johannesburg this year that you achieved, even though you were in the opposition benches?
Well, I think as the councillors of the city of Joburg, you know that most of the wards in Soweto, in fact, all of the wards in Soweto, belong to the ANC.
Yeah.
They've been working very hard, except that, of course, we have problems with electricity, ESCOM problems, but people still feel that the ANC is there for them, and people still welcome councillors. So there was nothing done by communities that would antagonize councillors.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Mashaba claimed that you guys, as the ANC, refused to join R17 because you said this is a Mashaba thing, it's a DA thing, and so on. But surely there must be certain things, MMC, that can unite people regardless of their political affiliation, and cleaning up after ourselves must be one of them.
Yes, you are correct. But when you do that program, R17 program, as a mayor, it must be a Joburg program. It can't be a DA program. You don't go to do that wearing a DA t-shirt. So once you do that, then people resist.
Seriously?
That's DA.
But the ANC always goes to rallies with t-shirts. Let me bring Navari here. You know, whether it be Women's Month or Youth Month or Youth Day or what, you always find a stadium full of people with Mbokodo, head gaps and what. But now when the DA does the same, you complain.
Yeah, it's different from a city program.
Why is it different? It's not different.
The city's government and the ANC or the DA will be a political party. So when you're a mayor and you do a program, you embark on a program, a city program.
You mustn't make it a party political thing.
No, it can't be.
Okay. Navari,
no, look, I mean...
highlights, you do agree that what happened in the metros probably is highlights that may show us that the coalition governments maybe are not working.
No, look, I've maintained this stand that all these coalitions government that we've seen post the demise of the ANC in the metros, we're always a coalition of elites, other than the coalitions that seek to serve our people. They're always meant to serve the interests of few individuals. We have actually maintained the grip into them so that they can continue to accumulate. And we see in Johannesburg, we see the demise, the Tshwane itself just collapsed. It becomes the shadow of its former self. I mean, there's nothing that's happening in Tshwane now. You'll cry if you go there. And then you go to Nelson Mandela, there's nothing happening there. It's just a commotion of infighting everything. And so my view is that coalition government will never work. I think people of this country must know that if they want to give a party, they must give the party majority to lead. Because this thing that we've seen now in the case study of Johannesburg, Nelson Mandela and Tshwane, it's clear that it's only those that serve their own personal interests that remain and continue to accumulate in the cities.
It's interesting you say that because the ANC has argued that coalitions where they led actually have worked.
No, look, you see, you need a tried and tested party.
Like in Kurleni.
Look, you need a tried and tested party. The ANC has a track record of what it stands for. And all opposing parties in this country combined know what the ANC stands for, despite all its limitations. That there are some amongst members of the ANC who do some dubious things that are not mandated by the party. But the ANC has a track record of commitment to change the lives of our people in this country. So you can be able to relate with it and you can be able to unite around that vision. It's called a unity of purpose.
So what are you saying? Is the highlight for 2019 a lesson that says we must not assume that if it's coalition, it will necessarily work?
It's quite clear, JJ, that the lessons to the electorate is that they must give a singular party a mandate to lead.
A singular party, that may mean that then we got a totalitarian state.
No, I mean,
shouldn't we be celebrating the diversity of our political system?
No, our system is quite good. You know why we chose what we call proportional representation as part of the system of election? Is that even the smallest party could still get a seat. So that they can play an oversight role. But they must be a majority party, so that you are able to allow those that are on the outside part to oversight them. But if you divide the entire portion of the electorate of the seats of the city into smaller portions, you're going to have a sporadic of conflicts of many people who want to jostle for positions there. So it doesn't get coordinated properly to allow a space for service delivery. That's the point I'm raising.
All right, I'll come back to that now. And before we go to a break, one of the big things that happened that sort of really angered people is the JMPD going into the middle of the city to stop a riot of what was called the foreign nationals in terms of what you call fake goods and so on, and then having to retreat, which gave an impression that you didn't plan that operation properly. Minar,
see, what had happened then was, look, we could see that there was danger coming. When there was all of these people going towards officers, and officers would then have to react. So what we did, we said, come back, pull the officers back. But when we then retreated, we regrouped. When we regrouped, we then moved forward. And when we went back to the same area to go and continue with our operation, we did it slightly different.
You mean in days later?
Days later, we did it slightly different. What we did was we had an operation to cordon off the area. Once it was cordoned off, we could focus on the problem.
But why didn't you do it right the first time? Is it an indication that the intelligence services were not working closely with you for you to be able to warn you? There are 500 people there. You can't send 2 officers with 2 vans.
Yes, you see, when one does policing, sometimes the reaction is not always the same. And that day, we didn't expect that there would be that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
And there was some other investigation also, which had led to other issues that had to be dealt with internally.
Yeah.
But we did regroup. We went back a few days later, and we carried out the operation.
Yeah.
And we did what we had to do to achieve our objective.
All right. Okay, well, I'm going to talk to you a little more about that after the break to understand what you think were the highlights for fighting of crime and corruption. Do you think we're on top of the situation? Some of the things that we are told, that 600 buildings are being hijacked, etc., just seems to show a continued decay, of law and order. That there's just chaos, people are just doing as they please, and it looks like we're not rolling back those frontiers of crime. But we'll talk about that after the break.